Need tools? We've got you covered. Go to ChromebookParts.com or click on the link below to pick up this sleek, portable toolkit. Flip the unit over and remove two 8mm screws, two 5mm screws, and loosen the two captive screws. Gently insert the opener pick between the bottom cover and the palmrest and slide along the edges to pop the bottom cover free. Peel back the tape and unplug the battery from the motherboard. Remove two 2mm screws and two 3mm screws from the heatsink. Remove one 3mm screw from the Wi-Fi card. Gently pull back to unplug the Wi-Fi card from the motherboard. Peel back the tape, flip open the locking clips, and unplug the daughterboard cables from the motherboard. Peel back the tape, flip open the locking clip, and unplug the Palmrest cable from the motherboard. Peel back the tape, flip open the locking clip, and unplug the touchpad cable from the motherboard. Peel back the tape, flip open the locking clip, and unplug the LCD cable from the motherboard. Peel back the tape and unplug the speakers from the motherboard. Remove 5 3mm screws and 4 4mm screws from the motherboard. Remove the bracket. And gently lift up and pull back on the motherboard, taking care not to bend or damage the ports. You can gently twist the Wi-Fi card to pop the antenna cables free. Remove 4 5mm screws from the battery. Unplug the speakers from the Daughterboard. Remove 2 3mm screws and 3 4mm screws from the Daughterboard. Remove the bracket. And gently lift up and pull back on the Daughterboard, taking care not to bend or damage the ports. Remove 4 2mm screws from the speakers. Peel back the tape, and remove 3 3mm screws from the touchpad. Lift the Palmrest partway up, and slide the touchpad free to remove. Remove 4 4mm screws from the hinges. Unwind the cables from their grooves, and gently wiggle the Palmrest free from the LCD assembly. Replace the Palmrest so that the hinges fit underneath the lip. Replace the 4 4mm screws into the hinges. Reseat the antenna cables and LCD cable back into their grooves. Slide the touchpad back into place. And replace the 3 3mm screws. Reapply the tape. And replace the speakers. Replace the 4 2mm screws back into the speakers. Replace the Daughterboard back into its port slots. Replace the bracket. And replace the 2 3mm screws and 3 4mm screws. Plug the speakers back into the Daughterboard. Replace the battery. And replace the 4 5mm screws. Gently push down to plug the antenna cables back into the Wi-Fi card. Using a 99% isopropyl alcohol solution, clean off the motherboard and the heatsink. Replace the motherboard back into its port slots, and be sure to get all the cables out from underneath. Replace the bracket, and replace the 5 3mm screws and 4 4mm screws. Plug the Wi-Fi card back into the motherboard. Replace the 1 3mm screw back into the Wi-Fi card. Plug the LCD cable back into the motherboard. Plug the speakers back into the motherboard. Plug the touchpad cable back into the motherboard. Plug the Palmrest cable back into the motherboard. And plug the Daughterboard cables back into the motherboard. Apply a small dab of thermal paste to the motherboard as shown. And replace the heatsink. Replace the 2 2mm screws and 2 3mm screws back into the heatsink. Plug the battery back into the motherboard. Replace the bottom cover, and push down to snap it back into place. Replace the 2 8mm screws, 2 5mm screws, and tighten the 2 captive screws in the bottom cover.